Introduction. The Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths or the Four Noble Truths is the first Dharma lesson that the Buddha taught to the Kyo-Tran New group, who practiced asceticism with the Buddha many years ago. This lesson is very important. It is a sign that the Buddha has turned the Dharma wheel, that is, he brought the truth to teach everyone, to realize that life is suffering, and must be practiced to permanently liberate all human suffering. 2. The Four Truths. Prince Siddhartha, after going out of the four gates east, west, south, and north of Kapilavastu, realized that birth, old age, sickness, and death are all suffering, humans cannot avoid it. Out of compassion for living beings, he decided to give up his golden palace, jade palace, beautiful wife, and obedient children and determined to find a way to liberate him from birth, old age, sickness, and death. When he realized the truth, he showed people suffering, only the factors that cause suffering, said that eliminating suffering would lead to a state of peace and happiness, and he showed the path of practice to resolve it. To escape suffering, in short, the four truths are, the truth of suffering, the truth of origin, the truth of cessation, and the truth of the path. 1. The truth of suffering. Some people will think that what is suffering in life. Some people realize that they have no suffering at all. But we try to look around, there are so many sufferings. Poor people have the suffering of poor people, rich people have the suffering of rich people. Suffering can be divided into two types, 3 sufferings or 8 sufferings. 3 sufferings. A. Suffering. Being born as a human is already suffering, and there are bitternesses in life that make us suffer more. B. Suffering. Changes in warm and cold weather, hunger and cold, war, natural disasters, and floods all cause people to suffer. C. Deterioration and suffering. Deterioration and suffering also cause people to suffer. For example, because of the destruction of our body, people become sick and sick, all of which are suffering. There are things we value that are destroyed because of destruction. Its destruction makes us always miserable. 8 stanzas. Birth. Everyone has suffering in life, so it is said that birth is suffering. B. Elderly. Old people have poor health, are often sick, have deaf ears, and have poor eyesight. These things always make the elderly feel miserable. C. Disease. Every disease causes the patient to suffer. D. Death. Everyone wants to live and is afraid of death. Death means giving up unfinished careers, loved ones, and possessions, so death is the greatest suffering for humans. E. Praying for unhappiness. What we wish for is like wanting a nice house, a nice car, but can't get it. There are people who want to take care of their parents but can't, and teach their children to be good people. If you can't get it, you'll have to work hard and suffer mentally. G. Suffering separation from loved ones. Separations from loved ones, such as separations from far away from home, are already painful. What could be more painful than this? If one's loved one passes away, people describe this suffering as a bout of intestinal rupture. 5 skandhas of suffering, the 5 skandhas of form. Feeling, perception, action and consciousness are the things that make us humans suffer. Resentment meets suffering. The things we hate but encounter are already unpleasant. The people who hate each other but are close to each other, often meeting each other, are all situations that cause suffering for us. 2. The truth of origin. Each person's present suffering is caused by previous lives. It binds us tightly and causes us to suffer retributions. Although there are many afflictions, they are divided into 10 categories. The afflictions are of a heavy nature. A. Greed, desire that causes wrongdoing. B. Anger, angry and hot, often doing bad things. C. Ignorance, confusion, utter mistake. D. Arrogance. Chow Chow is arrogant, thinks he is better than others, and then does wrong things. G. Doubt. Doubt causes hatred and suspicion, making it difficult to have true faith. Misperceptions. A. Body view, accept that this body is real. B. Side view, acceptance has one side, not true. C. Wrong view, seeing and knowing according to an evil path, not according to the right principles. D. Holding on to views, trying to maintain one's view, knowing one's mistakes, not realizing the truth. E. Forbidden precepts, believing and practicing wrong precepts. 3. The truth of cessation. the Buddha showed that sentient beings need to eliminate suffering. When suffering is eliminated, the mind always resides in tranquility, is permanent, and is liberated from the cycle of birth and death called nirvana. Therefore nirvana has three characteristics: 1. No more being born again; 2. The mind is pure and quiet; 3. Liberate all delusions and afflictions. The attainment of nirvana is different. Those who realize these four truths, belonging to the Shravakas, have four sainthood attainments. A. 2 to hone, the Chinese translated as D stream, which means participating in the sainthood, or Gi stream, which means going against those who do not practice. These people have clearly understood the four truths. B. 2 to ham, the Chinese translated as Nhat San, which means one more time to be born in the world of desire. C. Anaham, the Chinese translated as non-returner, which means no longer being born back into the world of desire but the cause of birth still exists. D. Arhat, the Chinese translated as unborn. This status is the ultimate goal of Hinayana. Reaching this status is no longer birth and death in the three realms: desire realm, form realm and formless realm. 4. The Noble Truth is the path that leads people to nirvana. This is the 8 right paths that must be followed. A. Right view, things that are investigated, seen, and known according to the right path and explained without going against the truth. B. Right thinking, what you think about must be righteous things, not wicked, bad, or cruel. C. Right speech, speech must be upright, moderate, and according to doctrine. D. Right action, actions must be righteous and useful to everyone and all species. E. Right livelihood, life and career must be righteous. G. Right effort, must progress on the path of practice. H. Mindfulness, remembering the past or the future, only pay attention to the right things. Do not remember or think about things that are not right. Right concentration, concentrate the mind according to the right method for wisdom to arise. The truth of suffering and the truth of origin are cause and effect in the world. The truth of cessation and truth of path are cause and effect beyond the world. The Four Noble Truths include only the 8 right paths, as the first step, the foundation for newcomers to enter the path of practice. Actually, the main path of practice includes 37 teaching aids, divided into 7 categories. 1. For foundations of mindfulness, contemplating the impurity of the body, contemplating the impermanence of the mind, contemplating the non-self of the Dharma. Contemplating suffering. 2. The 4 right efforts, diligence in preventing evil things that have not yet arisen, diligence in eliminating evil things that have already arisen, diligence in developing good things that have not yet arisen, diligence in developing good things that have already arisen. 3. For such as the contentment of the mind, satisfaction as the contentment of the mind, diligence as the contentment of the mind, oneness of mind as the contentment of the mind, contemplation as the contentment of the mind. 4. 5 faculties, faculty of faith, faculty of diligence, faculty of mindfulness, faculty of concentration, faculty of wisdom. 5 powers, power of faith, power of effort, power of mindfulness, power of concentration, power of wisdom. 6 7 parts of Bodhi, Dharma investigation, diligence, joy, peace, mindfulness, concentration, equanimity. 7. The Noble Eightfold Path, right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. 3. Conclusion. The Four Noble Truths is a very important sermon. First of all, it marks the beginning of Buddha's sermon. The wheel of Dharma begins to move. For Buddhists it is also important because it is a basic visible awareness. These 4 truths are the truths from which Buddhists can believe in Buddha's teachings. What is seen, known, and even inconceivable things are all truths. Accordingly, practice to reach each stage of the Buddha's teachings. 3 vehicles, thin van, goat vehicle, are those who clearly understand and practice the 4 truths, attain arhatship and enter nirvana. Pratyabuddhitas, deer carts, are those who obey Buddha's teachings, practice and eliminate the 12 causes and conditions, attain pratikabuddhahud, and enter nirvana. Bodhisattvas, buffalo carts, are those who obey the Buddha's teachings to achieve perfect enlightenment and peace for themselves and to help sentient beings through the 6 levels, almsgiving. Precepts, patience, diligence, concentration and wisdom, into success. Bodhisattva. Beyond all that is just the one vehicle, that is the Buddha vehicle, the highest attainment that everyone who diligently practices will reach.
Thank you for spending your valuable time on my channel journey to enlightenment. Wishing you a very peaceful and happy day. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to my support channel. See you in the next video.